All right, everybody, welcome. Hello, hello. It's good to see everybody here. It is a beautiful sunny day in Spokane, Washington, USA. I'm happy to be here with you and be your teacher for the day. We're going to continue on with some English for academic purposes. It's one of my favorite classes to teach because it's preparing you for university or to be successful in your business or job. Communication skills are so important, and they can really provide great opportunities in your lives. I feel very grateful for having good teachers myself when I was in university and even high school. They encouraged me to learn public speaking skills and ways to articulate language such that the people I am talking to get my real meaning, the strongest meaning that I'm trying to convey. So we're going to do that in this class, and we have been doing that. So hello, everybody. It looks like Selma's here. Abashir, hello, welcome. Is this your first time? Is it Mohammed or is it Abashir? So let me know what you'd like me to call you. Selma, of course, hello. Rosa, hello. Roma, hi. Good to have you here. You're super tired today. I'm sorry about that. Hopefully you can get some coffee and stay awake for our lesson. Nappy Happy. I doubt that's your real name, but if that's what you wanted me to call you, great. Welcome. Is this your first class? If so, we're happy to have you. If you've taken a class before, let me know. First time for Abdul Rahman. Welcome. Hello. What country are you from? We have some amazing students from all these different countries. We have students from Pakistan, from India, from Algeria, students from Colombia and Mexico. All right. Yes, so welcome. And Losa, is that right? Is this your first class? If so, welcome. We're happy to have you. Oh, Saudi Arabia, Abdul Rahman, welcome. We have students here at our college from Saudi Arabia. Some from Jeddah and some from smaller towns that are a few hours from Jeddah. But it's always good to have all these cultures come together with the common goal of learning English. We love that. And a special thanks to our premium subscribers. I see Rosa's here. Rosa, always a pleasure. Happy to have you in class. And Selma, thank you for being here as always. You guys are amazing students, and we love to treat you to our special premium subscriber features, which I'll talk about just a little bit before we get started with our lesson today. So our Smart Live classes, if you're coming here for the first time, or if you're returning and a premium subscriber, I'll go over sort of what our premium subscribers are getting, and if you want to become one, you can. Your first month is free. So here's our lesson, or lesson outline for our Smart Live classes. So the Smart Live is an English class that's streamed on YouTube, and you have a Canadian or American teacher. I'm an American teacher. Go America! It's a great campus that we have here, and I'm in the studio. I'm in a production studio right here, so we get to do these classes for you. But you can come and study here in Spokane if you want. It's a beautiful city. We have great international community, and it's a great place to learn English because we have 91% native speakers. And our accents here in the Pacific Northwest, this region, it's one of the best regions to study in because our accents are very common across America. If you study somewhere like Texas or Mississippi, Americans speak very differently there. And their accents sometimes are so strange to even Americans that we have a hard time understanding them. They're also beautiful accents, and they're very fun to listen to. But it can be difficult if we try to study English in some of these places. So, Abdul Rahman asks if I'm with Trump. No, it's just a bunch of Hollywood media hype. He doesn't really have that much power. The power of the president is not that strong. And a lot of people are asking questions about it, and I'm sure you're interested. But to Americans, it's not really a big deal. Nothing truly changes in our country. it's a lot of people that make change, and the people in America are the ones that really make any sort of changes. So really, it doesn't make a big difference. I don't like the guy, and I love that I have the freedom in America to say that. I can go out in the streets and say, I don't like our president, and nothing bad happens. That's not true in every country. So it's nice to live in America and have these freedoms to be able to say and do whatever we want, basically, as long as it doesn't harm anybody. So yeah, it's hopefully that answers some of your questions if you were wondering about what it's like in America right now. It's the same as it was when Obama was president. Nothing has changed, and we're still teaching these amazing classes and still enjoying all the freedoms that America offers. So it's really nice. So again, back to our Smrt Live class. This class is invite only for between 5 and 30 students. So Rosa and Selma, I'll keep talking about them because they're two of our wonderful premium subscribers that are in class today. And they get from us 12-week course with 2 hours per week. And they get a little more than that too because I meet with them on Hangouts. I'm going to do a short Hangout today. So Rosa, Selma, stick around. I'll invite you guys to the Hangout after class, and you get one-on-one time with me to ask me any individual questions you want. And that's really nice. I like doing that because I get to really connect with students. Rosa and I are working on an essay and some homework. You get access to our Smrt curricula, which I will show you here. We're going to go over this lesson in just a little bit, but you get access to a ton of information. There's lots of different levels and lots of different classes that you get to explore. I've taught almost all of these classes in my history teaching here at the Spokane College of English Language. But there's tons of great information and resources that you get access to. You also get homework that is marked by me if you're a premium subscriber. And you get to email me anytime you want and get lesson feedback in the form of videos and audio clips that are extra besides the free YouTube clips. And then you'll get an English certification for graduates of the program. So Rosa, you're on track. Selma, you're on track to do that. Good work. You guys are doing amazing. You get a lot more practice, and it's nice to have practice from a native speaker, and I can answer specific questions you have. It's kind of the best way to learn English. So if you can't travel to America or Canada, this is a great alternative to that. Hi, everybody. Sumaya, hi, how are you? It's good to see you back. Thanks for coming. Luciana, of course, great to see you again as well. So we have beginner English, intermediate English, advanced English, and English for academics, academic purposes. That's what class you're in right now. I, of course, am your teacher, Joshua, and this class is for 2 hours a week, and it runs on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 o'clock p.m. GMT or 2:30 p.m. Actually, I'm not sure that time is correct. We don't use the 24-hour time system here in America, so I'm not sure exactly what time that is, but 2:30 is the time that we run our class. PM Pacific Standard Time. So right now is when we're doing it. And yeah, it's a great opportunity, I think. I really am excited about it. And if you want more information, I'm going to copy these links in the chat so you can check it out yourself. So if you're interested in becoming a subscriber, go to that link and check it out. You're on our YouTube page, subscribe, and check out our other teachers. We have Nicole and Neil here in America at our college. They're amazing teachers. And up in Canada, our sister college, we have Mark and Sean, who are also amazing teachers. They're great at what they do. You should check out all of their classes. So that's our YouTube link, Smrt English YouTube link. And okay, 22:30 GMT. Thank you, Rosa. I appreciate that. And good morning, Nilofer. Good to see you back as well. I also would like you guys to join our Facebook group if you can. There's lots of great discussions and quizzes that are on there that are free as well. And like I said, you can get a month free just for signing up, and there's no obligation. You don't have to. You don't have to continue, but we hope you do because we love having our premium subscribers. If you do want to come study with me in person, I'll give you a high five. You can have lunch with us and all the teachers. We have great lunches every day with all our students. We do activities here in Spokane. We have conversation club, and we'll go to the fair. We have a running club, a volunteer club, chess club. I'm a big nerd. I love chess. It's a great game. We do lots of really fun activities with our students. We go to theme parks or go play in the park that's right next to our college campus. It's a beautiful city. And you can join our Spokane College Facebook page too. It's not just for our students, it's for anyone who wants to learn English and talk to our students and ask them questions. Selma, I wish you could study here too. I hope you can someday. Okay. And, so Rosa was watching Sean's class before this one. Yeah, that's great. Sean is an amazing teacher. He's the director of the Canadian College of English Language, much like I am the director of the Spokane College of English Language. So I'm a teacher, but I'm also the director here. So if you have questions about applying or wanting to come study here, you can send me an email. My email is joshua.live@smartenglish.com. That's smrtenglish.com. So please check us out. Like I said, if you want to come study here with us, just go to this link. You can apply. It looks like Abdul Rahman, you want to graduate and come study at our college? Awesome. Please do. That would be awesome. When do you graduate? Is it soon? Are you a senior, junior? You're in high school? Or college, maybe. I don't know. It's your first time, so I haven't had a chance to meet you yet. Vivek, hey, you are a little late, but don't worry. I haven't started the lesson. I'm just talking about the opportunity to become a premium subscriber and discussing my awesome college here where I work. I like to, for our new students, show you the campus. This is our website, our college website. And you'll see right here, this is the college campus. This is inside. It's a really brand new building, very cool. This is right next to our campus. It's our clock tower and park. Our park just got $65 million to build new things there. So there's going to be a lot of new activities and things to do that are right next to our college campus, which is awesome. I'm so excited. Okay, Abdul Rahman's in college, and you're after year 2. So if you're in year 3, if it's 2, you're a sophomore. If it's year 3, you are a junior. And your last year, if it's a 4-year college, you are a senior. Same words for high school. We say freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. Freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. So now you guys know the terms for that. Anyway, we partner with 4-year universities and community colleges and technical schools. So there's a lot of pathways too. If you wanted to get a master's degree or a PhD or an undergrad degree like a bachelor's, we have those programs where you can go directly from our school to them with no TOEFL, no IELTS. They're our partners and our friends, so we send our students directly there with no trouble. It's a great program and it's a great opportunity. So please feel free to apply to our college, or if you have questions, send me an email. I have a posh accent, Nylafer. That's an interesting adjective. I would never describe myself as posh, but thank you. That's a very kind compliment. I appreciate it. Okay, enough about the college and me. I hope to see you guys in person someday and meet you face to face. I would love for you to visit Spokane. But until then, how about we study some English together? So for premium subscribers, you can go to this link in Smrt. I'll paste it in the chat there for it to be easy for you. But we've been talking in this class about different aspects of English that are valuable for academic purposes. So if you're in university and you want to write papers in English, or if it's an English-speaking university, this information will help you. It's very valuable. We've talked about APA guidelines. We've talked about writing strategy, reading strategy, outlines, how to transition between body paragraphs. We've talked about identifying and creating general statements and thesis statements. All of these things are so important to academic writing. I've had students from Mexico that are marine biologists that are publishing papers all over the world in English. I've had students that are philosophy majors, psychology majors, doctors, medical students, and these students get to do amazing, incredible things in their work, and they need this information. So I'm so happy and grateful to be able to teach you this information and hopefully make your lives more productive and more goal-oriented towards your aspirations. I want you guys to achieve your goals. So, Luciana says, what does posh mean? Posh is kind of like, it's like refined or dignified or like fancy in a way. We don't use it very often. Actually, it's not a very common adjective, but it's good and most Americans know what it means. It's someone who might wear, very formal clothes and have an elegant style. Okay, so Sumaya, you say, Josh, could you give me any advice about improving my speaking skills? Yes, of course. Here's some general advice for everybody before we start our lesson on essay skills. If you want speaking skills, there's a couple things you should do. Listen to native speakers. And if you have the opportunity, make friends with native speakers. Build a friendship with someone in America. Reach out on our Facebook page to some of our students or our teachers, and we'll try to talk to you as much as possible when we're not in our classes teaching our students here at the college. But if you have other opportunities to meet Americans, if you want to learn American English, which I of course think is the best kind of English, then make friends and practice with them, listen to them. Also, when you hear an American speak, when you hear me speak, try to copy me. Try to copy my pronunciation. Copy the way I speak. Some students are hesitant to do that, and I don't know if it's in class at least, if they feel like they're going to offend or if it's wrong to do. It's not. It's a good thing to do. You should try to copy your teachers and speak as they do. It will help you reduce your accent and pronounce your English words correctly. Mimic. Rosa has a great word for that, mimic. Mimic is a verb that means to imitate, to try to sound exactly like someone else. We do this when we pretend to have accents. Like the Australian accent, they pronounce their Y sound very long. They'll say likely. And so we try to do that when we're here in America. We'll try to sound Australian and overpronounce our Y's and vowel sounds. Okay, so that's one way you can do it. The best way, of course, is to go and immerse yourself in an English-speaking country. Of all the students I've ever taught, the students who learn fastest are students who move to America for a short time and they live in the culture. They live with the language all around them all the time. And for example, our homestay program here at our college allows you to live with American families. So you're hearing English your whole day, all your day, here with your teachers and then at home with your American family. So that's the best way, but if you can't travel, try to make as many American friends as you can. Skype with them, hang out with them, become a premium subscriber so you and I can do that. Those are very good ways to practice. The third suggestion I'll give you is record yourself. Listen to yourself. We don't hear ourselves the same when we're speaking like this, but when I go back and watch this video, if I watch this video, I would notice if I make any mistakes. I would notice if I say a word incorrectly, or if I miss a word in my sentence. So use your smartphone, use your webcam, use your laptop, whatever. Record yourself and do it once a week at least. And watch yourself, just 5 minutes of you talking. And then as time goes on, after a few months, go back and watch your first video and compare it to your more recent videos. See what kind of improvement you had made and see what kind of mistakes you make often so that you can think about them, identify them, and correct them. So that's my advice for how to improve your speaking skills in English. If you have more questions, feel free to email me, and I'm happy to answer them. But I want to get started with the lesson. I'm so happy to have you guys here in class, and I'd like to discuss the topic of essay layout today. So for 3 classes, we discussed APA formatting and how to correctly craft our paper. But I want to return to that first class and just go over the basic layout of an essay. And we're going to start with a little tutorial here in Google Docs. If you're not familiar with Google Docs, I highly suggest learning the basics of Google Docs. There's some great videos online. I have a tutorial video I can share with our premium subscribers, which will help also. But it's a very valuable free resource so you can write academic papers. And I'll show you what I mean. If I go into Google Docs, it's much like Microsoft Word or Pages. You can create a document, you can create a title. So I'm going to title this one, Essay Outline Example, okay? And you have most of the same tools here. You can change the font, the format. So, Sumaya, thank you. I appreciate that comment. That's very nice. I'm glad you think I'm a great teacher. So for our returning students, so Luciana, Rosa, Selma, what is the correct font and size to use for academic papers? I'm going to quiz you a little bit and see if you remember. First one to answer gets props from me in the comments there. And I'm just looking at your questions. Rosa says she's trying to apply that with Keo, Vivek, and Zara. Trying to apply what, Rosa? Trying to practice speaking? Is that what you're talking about? Vivek says, mimic is not a good word to describe copying. It's used in a negative way. I mimicked my friend when he wasn't around and others laughed at my mimicking. You'd want to say mimicking. But Vivek, I'm sorry, I have to correct you there. That's not quite correct. Mimic is not a bad word. Mimic is okay. Mimic is a fine word that just means to copy. The word that I think you are thinking of is mock, to mock. Sometimes people do use mimic in a bad way. It doesn't always have a negative connotation though. We could say that a parrot mimics human speech. A parrot. I think we all know these animals, right? This was from an earlier class. A parrot is the bird that can, really colorful bird, that can mimic human speech. So these are animals that can produce sounds linguistically that are similar to the sounds that humans produce. So mimic's not bad. Mock would be. To mock someone is to pretend to be like them, but in an insulting way, in a negative way. So if we're mocking someone, we're not being nice. If we're mimicking someone, it's okay. Copying is a fine word too. But thank you for pointing that out. Anytime we use language that you want more explanation of or that you agree or disagree with, please write a comment because I want to discuss these things. Okay, so we have our excellent answers here. Rosa says New Roman, Times New Roman, size 12. You're right. Selma had it as well. Vivek, you had it. Good job. That's excellent. And Luciana, so good job, everybody. And Luciana also says, listen to American music. Yeah, you're right. That's a good way to practice hearing pronunciation. Music isn't always the best, though, because sometimes singing is different than the way we actually pronounce the words. But it is one good way to do it. Watch movies, watch Netflix, watch American television, all good resources. They might use bad grammar in movies and television, so be careful of that. But you will get experienced to common language of our culture. Selma, I am in the future. It's Friday there. Awesome. I'm a time traveler. So cool. I love that. So everybody said the correct answer, Times New Roman, size 12. Oh, Vivek, no mean sentences. Come on. I know you're joking with Rosa, but hate's such a bad word. My grandmother says, hate is too strong of a word to use with something you don't like. It's one of my favorite quotes from my grandmother. So mock is to make fun of someone. And this is great because I needed some text here to use to explain how to change the default settings in your Google Drive. So Rosa, Selma, premium subscribers, I'd like you to do this with me if you can. We're going to change the settings for our Google Documents so that every time we open a new one, it's all ready to go for us. It's already prepared. If we open a new document by default, it's Arial and size 11, but that's not what we want. We want to change it to Times New Roman, size 12. So, open a new document and type any word, just a single word, and then select it all. Select everything there and click on your font and change it to Times New Roman. If you don't see it, click on More Fonts and search, but it should be there, Times New Roman, and change it to size 12. And if you want these directions, you can just go to Google and type Google Doc default font or settings, and this will come right up. To set a preferred font. So we open a file, we type our text, and we highlight the text, and then you go to the toolbar and we go to the format option right here. So toolbar, format, and we go down to paragraph styles, and we go update normal text to match, okay? Update normal text to match. So again, format, paragraph styles, options, normal text, update normal text to match. Then the next the next step here is we go back to format. I'm gonna back off here just a little bit, not too far, so we can see all the options. Format, paragraph styles, options, and then save as my default styles, okay? Oh, I did want to change one more thing too. So keep your text highlighted. This option right here, if you see, this one right here, it's like the center option, but it's line spacing. So go to that option, and we want to click double spaced. Your professors, if you're studying at university, will probably ask you to double space your papers. They might not. They might have variants. They might have you do different settings. But most professors at universities in English-speaking countries like Times New Roman, size 12, double spaced. So if we can set this, we don't have to change it every time. So again, we're going to select our text, format, paragraph styles, normal text, update normal text to match, and then format, paragraph styles, options, and then in our options here, I gotta back out just a little bit, we're gonna say save as my default styles, okay? And again, those steps are free on Google to search for. Just type Google document font or default settings or something like that, and it'll come right up for you. So now I have APA style pre-saved to all of my Google documents that I create, and we can test it. I can go in here and create a new document, and we'll see right there. It's saved. It's already Times New Roman, size 12. See if I type, it's double spaced. See? Already saved for me. It's already there. And you can, of course, change it back, but this is just a really nice way to make sure you're always using the right formatting, APA format. So hopefully that is helpful. Abdul-Rahman, the program is just Google Documents. So if you have a Gmail account, we use Gmail accounts at our college here. Here's my Gmail, joshua.live@smartenglish.com. And you get access for free to your drive, which is a storage service where they allow you to store documents, photos, sound files, videos, basically anything you want to store, you can store for free in Google Drive. I store all my homework videos that I make for our premium subscribers. I store photos of the college, Spokane College of English Language, some music sometimes I store in here. It's a really convenient place, but you can also create essay documents. You can create documents that you can share with someone and collaborate on, or they can open it in Microsoft Word or Pages if you're running on a Mac computer. So greetings from Mexico, Danny. Hi, how are you? Glad to have you here. Okay, it looks like I've answered your question, Abdul-Rahman. So please change your settings if you can. If you have questions about it, Rosa, Selma, just send me an email, or we'll talk about it in our hangout after class today. So we're going to go over some more of our Smrt curricula here. This curriculum for today is essay layout. So imagine that you've already found your sources, you've organized your ideas, you've made your outline, as we discussed in our previous class. Now our last step is to change our outline into sentences and paragraphs, essentially to write our essay. So we used a 5-paragraph structure in class, which is the easiest way to teach the creation of an essay in English. The first paragraph is your introduction paragraph. It introduces the general idea and the basic topics for your supporting body paragraphs. And then we choose 3 supporting body paragraphs because it's important to get many sources of evidence to prove our thesis. So we'll use 3 body paragraphs to support our thesis, and we end with a conclusion paragraph, which is essentially a restatement of our thesis, a summary of what we wrote, and then we end with a big idea, like a call to action, or a argument on one side or the other of a topic. Do we apply this even when we write in Microsoft Word too? Yes, Rosa, the same format. I don't know if there's a way to save your default styles in Microsoft Word, maybe. But I encourage you to use Google Docs instead of Microsoft Word. I think that it has just as many features, and any features that it doesn't have, you're not really going to need in academic writing. So it's just cleaner and faster and easier in my opinion. I prefer Google Docs to Pages or Microsoft Word. I think it's faster, simpler, and it's easier to track your history in the document. I'll show you something kind of cool here. When you use Google Docs, you can search for all your changes. So if I started this last week and I made tons of changes, you can go back and view what you changed. You can view your edits, and every single little change I made is stored here. So I can go back and see when I typed, when I deleted something, and you can restore these earlier versions too, so it saves them for you. It's a really valuable tool, I think. I know that I love it, my other teachers love it, my students love it. So give it a shot, test it out. If you have questions, let me know, and I'm happy to help. So Luciana, ooh, wow. I can't pronounce the name of where you're from. Is it Recife? Recife? Is that right? Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm glad you're here. Jose, I see you joined as well. Thank you for being here. We're talking about formatting for academic essays. So those are the styles that we should use in our 5-paragraph essay or multi-paragraph essay. We do, for APA format, need to include a title page at the beginning, and I'll talk about the details of that in just a minute. And also our reference page at the end, which is also called a bibliography or a works cited. Now, a bibliography is a little different, but they're all essentially the same. They all have essentially the same purpose, which is citing our sources, telling our reader where we got our information. This is so important in academic writing because we have to prove that where we got our information is credible to support our points. For example, if I tried to tell you that the earth is flat, one, you're going to call me an idiot because it's not flat, it's round, right? But you're also going to ask me, well, why do you think that? How did you come to that conclusion? And if I can't prove to you facts and show you evidence of why I believe this to be true, it's just me making something up, right? The way that we had this revolution in science and history of moving from the idea of the earth being flat to round was supported by evidence, supported by facts that could be checked. And that's how academics work. We come up with an idea and we prove it to be right, or someone else proves us to be wrong. And it's through these academic arguments that in the world we achieve any progress. So academic writing is something I'm very passionate about. I believe that quality academic writing can make fundamental changes in our society, in our world. We're a global community and we have to make positive changes. And one way we can do that is by creating strong writing and sharing it with the world. So, and I'm not sure how to say your name. Is it CH? Is it Chi? I forget. I think we talked about it last week. But you said you remember doing this when you wrote your thesis, many hours without sleep. Yep. Yeah. If you plan your essay out over a long time, it's easier, but many students will write, the week before or something, or sometimes the night before, which is a terrible idea. But I'm not going to say I haven't done that myself. So we're going to have our title page, we're going to have our reference page, and then we're going to insert citations in our paragraphs. But we're just looking at the general format of the essay today to sort of wrap up our APA lesson. The title page has 3 parts. It has the header, the title, and personal information. So your information or the author's information. Chari, that's right. Thank you, Vivek. Chari. Okay, let's see here. Just making sure I'm watching everybody's questions to make sure I don't miss anything. I didn't see Google Docs as an option. I was using Microsoft software. Does this kind of app help you save your documents online? Yes, Danny. Danny from Mexico, right? Yes. Google Docs is free if you have a Gmail account. You just sign up and you get it for free, and it saves them for you. So anytime you create a document, you can always go back to your drive and it's there waiting for you. So let's go ahead and create our title page. So at the bottom of the title page is a proper blank or page break, and I'll show you how to make that in Google Docs. You can insert page break or do Control Enter. So let's go ahead and watch this quick video, and it will show you an example of our formatting for our document. And this is a way to insert indents and tabs. This is part of the Smrt curricula, and premium subscribers, you have access to this. I'll send you a link to our lesson that we're on. And yes, to answer your question, Luciana, or maybe you are answering Danny's question, any word you type is automatically saved in Google Docs. I'll show you that again in just a minute. But let's watch this video about using indents and tabs, and we'll discuss after the video.
I've written a letter that has several paragraphs, and to make each paragraph stand out just a little more, I want to add a first line indent. The easiest way to do this is to place your cursor, also known as the insertion point, at the beginning of a paragraph, and then press the Tab key. You may have noticed that when I did this, this little marker on the ruler moved forward 1/2 inch. This is the first line indent marker. There's also the left indent marker, and then all the way on the other side, the right indent marker. We can move them to create various types of indents. They don't affect the whole document though, just the parts that are selected. So let's select all of these paragraphs. Now click, hold, and drag the first line indent marker. As the marker moves, a blue guideline extends from the ruler. The right indent is useful if you want to make the paragraph narrower. And finally, the left indent marker can be used to move all of the lines at the same time. You can also adjust the left indent using the buttons on the toolbar. These will increase or decrease the indent in 1/2 inch increments. But for this letter, I want a more traditional look, so I'm just going to do a first line indent of 1/4 of an inch. Indents are a good way to keep things lined up in your document, but for more complex documents, such as resumes, they're not always enough. I'd really like all of these dates to line up. I could just use spaces, but it's going to be difficult or impossible to get them to line up exactly, so I'll need to use tabs. If I place the insertion point right before the text I want to align, and then press the Tab key, it's going to jump forward in 1/2 inch increments. That works pretty well, but I'd like to have a little more control over exactly how the text lines up. I think a tab stop is exactly what we need here. Tab stops tell the text exactly where to line up, so you're not limited to 1/2 inch increments. Just like with indents, tab stops only apply to the selected text, so select all of the text that you want to include in your tab stop. Next, click the ruler where you'd like the tab stop to be. You can choose to align your text to the left, center, or right of the tab stop. In this example, we're going to align our text to the left. Now, to align the dates, we want to add just one tab before each date, and they will jump to the new tab stop. If there are more things that you'd like to align, you can add more tab stops. And to remove them, just drag them off the ruler, and they'll disappear. This looks a lot better now, and I think having everything lined up gives it a neater, more professional appearance.
Okay, so I think it's valuable to understand those features and just kind of refresh and remind ourselves how to do it if we haven't done that in a while. It allows us to make our documents look really clean and professional, and when you submit an essay to your professors, you want it to look clean and professional. Sometimes I have students change the font to crazy fonts with colors and stuff, and while it may look interesting and colorful, it's distracting, and it takes away from what really matters, which is what they wrote down. So be careful of that as you're writing academically. We want it to be Times New Roman size 12, double spaced. It's more professional and more formal looking and important in the academic world. So that is how to sort of format your in that document, your essays. So I always have my students write their essays with 1/2 inch tabs. And we're going to have to do a little bit of formatting when it comes to our reference page. We'll get to that in a minute though. Back to our curricula here. We have citations. So we have end citations, and here's some examples. I'm just going to copy these over and paste them into our document so that we can have some to sort of play with here. And I can show you how to format our essay reference page. So I'm going in here and I'm just taking these citations. I'm just going to do 2 of them. This is for our reference section. So all of the sources that we used in our essay will go here. And we have to use hanging indents. So there's another short video that I want to include in today's lesson from our Smrt page. And it is how to use indents. So we're going to watch that really quick, and then we're actually going to do it together here in my Google Drive with the document so you can see another example of how it's done. Okay, I'm not sure why the video did that, but I just wanted to show you guys how to do hanging indents. So I'm just going to do it here as an example for you. You see that we highlight just the reference page here, and we move our tab stop in that 1/2 inch. And then we're going to take this little top bar. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. See how there's two little things here? This is the indent. This is the border line there. We bring that back. I'm going to zoom out so you can see what it did there. So again, for our references, we do a hanging indent, which is just kind of a reverse. A normal paragraph, of course, we indent the first line, and we do not do spaces between them in APA formatting. So it would look like this if these were paragraphs in our essay. But this is not our essay. This is our reference page. So we do a hanging indent, which looks exactly opposite of that. So we highlight all the text in our reference page, and we move the indent over to that 1/2 inch marker, and then we move our line back to the original line. So it will inevitably look like this. Sorry, just trying to get these to line up here. And sorry, I said 1/2 inch, I mean inch. So they will look like this. And you see how I highlighted this paragraph but not this one? It only changes what we highlight. So we have to make sure to highlight all of our references and adjust the tabs accordingly. So there we go. This is a hanging indent. And this is exactly the same in Microsoft Word or Pages. If you don't see this little ruler here, you just go to View and make sure that Show Ruler is checked. Otherwise, you won't have it in your document. So make sure you have Show Ruler checked. That way you can manipulate your indents. So it looks like, Rosa, you mentioned a computing class in English. We do have English for with computer terminology and computer vocabulary available. So if you're interested in that, send me an email or send Zach an email. We can give you more information about it. And it looks like Abdul Rahman's leaving so he can go watch the Brazil game. Bye, Abdul Rahman. Thank you for coming. Glad this was your first class. Please come back again. We'll be here Tuesdays and Thursdays, okay? Let's see. Yeah, Rosa, our premium subscriber, she wants to be a journalist. That's awesome. You should definitely travel and definitely keep writing because your writing is amazing. Your essays have been great, so good work. All right. Luciana, I'm not sure why you can't hear anything. Maybe just check your settings or try headphones. Sometimes that solves the problem. And let's see here. Okay. Vivek, it sounds like he wants to be an author. Well, you know what, Vivek, if you are going to submit possibly a novel or some sort of book that you want to write, nonfiction or fiction, you will also probably use this same format to submit to publishers. This is a very common format to submit anywhere professionally. If you're writing for a newspaper, like Rosa wanting to be a journalist, or if you want to try to publish a book, same style. You're going to use this style probably. So, okay, it looks like everyone understands this quite well. So I'm going to go back to our example here, and we're going to open up an essay that was created for this same purpose. Now, I'm going to copy this document because the one thing that is not included in here, which I will try to amend, is the font. This is not Times New Roman. So let's change it. We're going to select everything, go to Times New Roman, size 12. And I also have to change the header. This is called a document header. You create this by going Insert and then go down to Header. These are headers and footers. It's the space at the top of a page or the bottom of a page. And with APA formatting, we want to use the same font, Times New Roman, size 12. And basically this is a page number and the title of your essay. So this is our title, and the title is located at the top of the page here on its own, centered. It is the only thing that should be centered, the title page in your essay. Everything else should be aligned to the left because that's how we format in English. That's how we read from left to right. But the title page can be centered. Rosa, it looks like I missed something. Just go ahead and repeat your question for me if you had a question. Oh, Vivek is not coming to the class again, but he's going to watch it later. Yeah, oh, of course, no problem. He can watch it later and he'll get my comments then. So this student is Bill Smith, very American name, and his class is Smrt 140, and his teacher is Chris Kelly. So that is how we usually format our title. We say the student name, the class name, the teacher's name. So really this could be me, right? And Rosa, I'm gonna use your name if you don't mind, just as an example here. So we would use the student name, the class name, and then the teacher name and the date. Now, this is the common way to write the date in English, American English, Canadian English. This one is okay, but I tell my students sometimes if we use the numbers, so there's several ways to write the date. Some students will write the date, for example, today is November. Sorry about that. Sometimes students will write the date and they'll use numbers. So this is the 11th month, November. Today is the 10th, and the year is 2016. Sorry, there is a shortcut I put with the numbers on here, so that's why it keeps going to the other screen. I apologize. But this is, in my opinion, a terrible way to write the date because in many countries it goes not month, day, year, but day, month, year. So it's very hard for someone internationally to tell if this is November 10th, 2016 or October 11th, 2016. So my advice is to always spell the month. Now you can do it this way, or you can do it this way, 27 June 2012, or 2016, or whatever. I'll use the date they have there. This is my preferred way to write the date. I just like it, it's cleaner. I can abbreviate it, 27, the 3 letters of the month and the year. It's really simple, but either way is fine. Either way is totally fine. And honestly, most of your teachers, if they are teaching at an American university, they will prefer you write the date this way. So, student name, class name, teacher name, and date. And your title goes up here. So that is the format. That's how we create that. I wanted to see if we have... Okay, so 1/2 inch first line indent is APA formatting. So we look here at our example essay, and we scroll down. So at the last line of our title page, we're going to press Control Enter, and that is going to cause a page break. That means you cannot type anything down here on this page. It will immediately start on the next page. So here is our indent, and you notice it's excuse me, 1/2 inch, which is the same as 1 tab, press of the tab key. We went over that in an earlier video. The title is repeated on the very first page, and it's of course also included in the header, which repeats on every single page. So when you insert this number, you do so by clicking Insert and then Page Number, and we put our page numbers at the top of the page, okay? This one skips the title page. It's not really a big deal. Either of these is fine because the title page is very obviously the first page. So I accept both of those for my students' essays that they submit. So our title page, Control Enter. The other way to do that, instead of pressing Control Enter, is to say Insert Page Break. Page Break. So that will bring you down to this page here. 1/2 inch indent. And you can do that right from the start by just pressing Tab, or you can select your essay in the end and then move all of the paragraphs at once if you wish. And then this is our introduction paragraph. You notice it's all double spaced, but there is no extra space between the paragraphs. Many students will put a space like this, and I tell them, no, please don't. It's already double spaced, so the paragraphs can go next to each other. The indent is what identifies the beginning of a new paragraph. Luciana's question is, let's see here. Can we use the 2 final letters of the ordinal number, like 27th, th? Yes. To answer your question about the date, I believe you're asking if you can include this, 27th, June 27th, 2012. Yes. And if you do this, sometimes you'll see students not include the comma. I still do it out of habit. But again, this is why I prefer, because of all the options, to just write 27 June, sorry, same shortcut, 27 June 2016. So this is the way I prefer it, but you can do it several different ways. And it looks like Vivek said he wrote an example. Rosa uses the decimals instead of the slashes. We use backslash. So sorry about that. It's habit. Rosa uses decimals instead of backslash. So where Americans would write this for today's date, you will also see this. That's also a common way to write the date in English. And Vivek said 25 June 1993. Remember to capitalize June, though, Vivek. Is that your birth date? June 27th? Good birth date, if so. Nice and warm here in Spokane, at least. So there's lots of ways to write the date. My advice would be to simply use this format: month, name, number, and year. So let's see. That would be how I would prefer students write it, or number of the day, spelling of the month, and then number of the year is also good. Okay. And yeah, in Brazil, it's day, month, year. Lots of countries. Yes. So that would be the title page. And then, of course, the title is up here, our page number. The title is only repeated again on the first page in APA formatting for academic essays. Here you see there is some highlight here. There's a different color. This is simply for your information. It shows you an example of a citation. But if we're truly writing an essay, it would look like this. This is what your essay would really look like. It was simply changed in color to help students identify it. So keep that in mind. And here's another example of an in-text citation. So I'm going to scroll down here past our essays. Here's a note. A further body paragraph and conclusion would normally follow. And then now we have our references. So the reference page also has a title at the very top, and it's simply called references. Your professor might ask you to call it something different, like works cited or bibliography, and they'll give you a guide, so you will know what you are supposed to do. But if they don't provide a guide, if they just say, please write an essay, you're pretty safe doing it this way. Okay, looks like we have 1, 2, 3, and 4 references. Can you see those? Each time we have one of these hanging indents, it denotes a new reference. So here is reference number 1, reference number 2, reference number 3, and reference number 4. Hopefully that's clear. There are no spaces between, but the hanging indent here shows where each reference starts and is continued. Sometimes it'll look a little strange because of the length of website addresses, website URLs. One way around that is to use Google to shorten URLs. So Google short URLs, you just go to URL shortener, which is also just goo.gl. And we can take a long URL like this. This is a link to the article. So let's say this is the article we read. We copy the URL. We would paste it here in Google URL shortener. Prove we're not a robot, and shorten the URL. Now, this same URL right here takes us to that web page. And I'll show you. We can test it. I'll type that. Oops, I copied the wrong thing, sorry. We click copy our short URL. Now I paste that. It's a much shorter URL, and I can use that in my citation. I at least allow my students to use it in their citations because I think it's nice. They're able to, sorry, I gotta find that document. So they are able to do something like that, and it just makes their reference even shorter and cleaner and nicer to work with. So you can do that as an option. Like this URL right here is very long, very long. This would be a perfect one to use Google's URL shortener to shorten. So then I just copy it and I can use it in place of this. So hopefully that is helpful for you. I would, yes, no spaces between. This is already double spaced. So I'm going to take off the bold language there. And it is already double spaced. And actually these should not be italics either. So you can tell if it's double spaced by highlighting it and clicking here and seeing what is selected. So by default it's single spaced, but if you change your settings, you should see it double spaced here. Okay? So no extra spaces between. We would not do this. If your references look like this, if you're in my class, I will send it back to you and say, nope, no extra spaces, please fix that. And you will have to fix these spaces. So you notice that changed. I can put my hanging indent back by simply moving these over 1/2 inch. Let's do 1 inch just so you can see the big change there. And again, have 1, 2, 3, and 4 references. So hopefully that explains for you how our reference pages should look. This is a good-looking reference page here. It's got the header, reference title, and then my 4 references. Any questions about that at all? Hopefully that is clear for everybody and gives you a bit of insight into how your essays should look as you do academic writing. Good job. Okay. Good job, everybody, on your comments. I'm really happy to see everyone engaged and chatting about these subjects that we're discussing: APA format, essay creation and composition, and also finding our credible sources. So, didn't use double spaces between the same reference. Yeah, that is correct. We should not use double spaces in some situations. For example, if your professor tells you to single space your paper, you're going to want to. And that will happen if you're studying English at an American college or university. That will happen. So go with what your professor says, but if they don't give you enough guidance or instruction, follow these rules that we've discussed in class, and you should be fine. Your average professor should accept this as a good format to submit an English paper. So again, that is our lesson for today. APA formatting is done, finished. So if you have any questions about APA formatting, especially Selma and Rosa, our premium subscribers, please let me know today in an email or during our hangout after class, which will start in about 5 minutes. And we can discuss, we can talk about it. Anybody else, feel free to email me and we can chat about it. But starting next week, we're going to move on to a new topic. So get any APA type questions to me soon, because we'll be moving forward into more academic English practice that is not just formatting and creation of APA style essays. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Our college is closed tomorrow. It's a holiday here in America. So I won't be teaching again until next Tuesday, actually. And I'll be excited for our brand new lesson that we'll have. So if it was your first time, if you're a returning student, if you're a premium subscriber, come back next Tuesday. We will see you 2:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And I look forward to it. Thank you guys so much for the amazing comments. You're wonderful students. It's really exciting having you here. So have a great day, have a great weekend, and I will see you guys next week.